Limos and Roses is a humorous and occasionally offensive podcast. All opinions are based on the bachelors and bachelorettes being in the top 99 percentile of their respective genders with regard to their physical attributes. In other words, no offense. And thank you for listening. Enjoy.
Welcome to the very 45th podcast of Limos and Roses. This is the still shirtless, hee-haw filled, perfect letter, semi-sober bachelor might actually get married podcast that you all know and love. The recap podcast over all other recap podcasts that covers season 25 of The Bachelor. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you may or may not know, this very show began with our own Bachelor Fantasy League entitled Limos and Roses. On this podcast, I am joined by my husband,
Jet,
and our buddy,
Grace,
and me. I am your host and moderator, Chelsea. So, let's get this whole episode started. I hate these new openings of the show. I'm just going to refer to them as the shopenings that the producers have and editors have put together for us. I think they're so silly because we know we're going to see them, but it's not like it's not leading us into the episode. But there is a donkey, so I got really excited because I like to farm animals. I don't know about you guys. I love farming animals. Do we have anything to say before we begin this epic episode?
Yeah, I of course have something to say. When the donkey came in, I had to write the note. Oh, so ass play this early?
Yep. Oh, there's all sorts of jokes. I was
Under
just
the
trying to figure out where I was going to figure out where to put my ass joke, and you just went straight for the jugular at the top.
Right.
It's like, when do you throw the uppercut? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm just going to Mike Tyson this one and just boom.
Yeah.
But and also, lest we forget, this is the 45th episode. We were so close because we just right now the inauguration is still going on of the 46th president. It was that close to being synergy, and it's just also funny that there's inauguration going on, and we clearly have our priorities in order.
Of course,
Podcast.
Guys, I don't know how many times we have to say it. We're here for the right reasons.
Yeah, exactly. We're taking this more seriously than the contestants.
So with that, we're going to pick up right where we left off at the Rose Rundown.
Whoa. Oh my God. Wow. That was nice.
All right. Bree, Lauren, and Sarah already have roses. So the first rose goes to Piper.
First rose, Pied Piper.
She said every day, and then I wrote for maybe one more day.
Kit.
Young Blood.
Keep in touch. Also like and subscribe.
Maggie.
The International Traveler.
She appreciates humor. I like that. She had a great sense of humor in this moment.
Rachel.
Frontrunner.
Yeah, my cute little Kunis. Or Kunis. Is it Mila Kunis or Kunis?
Abigail.
Adorable.
I just said possible hometown.
Chelsea.
Fashion.
Catwalk.
Jasenia.
Hair.
One of the most real. She doesn't get a lot of screen time, but she's one of the most real.
Katie.
Good vibes.
Anna Bear.
Serena C.
Falling in like.
And I wrote, does he even know who she is?
It's funny you say falling in like, because at this point, Sarah begins to fall, but the camera pans away, and Serena P is holding a rose. And he never called out the name Serena P as Sarah struggles. So we're gonna pause the rundown. Pause it.
Woo! Ooh.
Jet, did you notice this?
I think he said Serena C on accident.
I think that you're right, Jet, because what I noticed in this moment was he was looking at his hand where he had the contestants' names written on it.
Very likely.
Oh my gosh, let's restart the Rose Rundown. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. That
Brace went like this. What
that was
this?
jarring.
That was my diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo.
Moving on. Kayla.
I wrote North Carolina barbecue.
Ooh, nice.
Mari.
At the beginning, I said poor man's Kardashian, and I'm just going to say Kardashian.
Smokin'.
Yeah.
MJ.
California curls.
Smooth jazz.
Kenny G, you're too much. Anna.
Hannah-Bama.
Yep.
Patty Simcox.
Kylie.
Lingerie.
She's my mystery. I can't figure her out.
Kind of like lingerie. It's a mystery.
The final rose goes to Victoria.
No.
I just said gross.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we say a fond farewell to 5 women. Mary Lynn, Sydney, Alana, Kristen, and Ileana. Oh. And, side note, Jet's out of the league, guys. He lost all 3 of his women. He gets 25 points. He gets 25 points.
Points.
It pays to lose.
Pays
I've been telling
to
myself that for
lose
years,
big.
dude.
Yeah.
So, let's move forward to some super sexy Nemacolin goats. Meh. I love goats. I love goats. It's a farm animal episode. I love goats. I love donkeys. I love goats. And I love the Nemacolin because they have both of those things. So, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Chris Harrison shows up and he says that he is planning the dates.
I'm so excited because he wrote this erotic novel, or is it an exotic novel? Anyway, there's sheep involved. So I was like, Chris Harrison, you're a bad boy.
Yeah, I thought you were going to hold up a book by now that you'd already gotten from Amazon. I thought for sure you were going to show us the cover of that book, dude.
So I guess we get to see the very first Chris Harrison date breakdown.
Breakdown.
This is group date number 1. Today is a surprise for everyone. This is the giant group date with Rachel, Bree, Lauren, Kit, Serena C, Victoria, Kayla, Anna, Kylie, and Katie. This is the date where Ashley I is found on a stage reading some steamy words, right? But also, it's Chris Harrison's romance novel, which makes it beautifully iconic. And so now everyone is tasked with writing this steamy section to read in front of a live studio audience of the remaining women. And yeah, let's talk about all of the takes on all of the steamy chapters from these ladies, shall we?
Victoria goes slutty. Oh, we're so surprised. She uses small words. Ooh, what a surprise. There's occasional rams. So, going right into Matt gets up and does the first reading. And I said to myself, well, he's a good looking guy. He's not a great orator or a writer, and the bro needs a thesaurus, but he showers well. Jet?
Great with showers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're making him look like a pretty nice guy, but like you said, he's a handsome, nice guy. The thing that stood out to me the most out of all the actual poems was Anna, Patty Simcox. She talked about in her poem or her romance story, she was like exposing my breasts one at a time. And I just turned to Chelsea and I was like, that would be really strange. Isn't that odd? So anyway, I just thought that was a little odd.
I mean, I'm totally on board.
Weird.
Like, that would be odd. Overall, I thought the date was a great date. This is one of those dates where I'm like, it's intellectual, fun icebreaker. I mean, yes, there's a sexual aspect to it, but I think from what I could gather, everybody had a good time. And I just was like, I was all for it. I thought it was a great date.
So back at the ranch, they send all of these girls back home, and we begin to see Sarah's spoiler struggle. The only thing that I have to say about this beginning of the struggle, we forget, because of what she's been through with her father so far, we forget how young she is, because she has that maturity, right? And we assume it of her. But I feel like that pressure, this is the beginning of us seeing it. I don't think it was the fainting at the rose ceremony. I think this is the beginning of it.
This is that moment we have to tell someone every season, sweetheart, you're on a dating game show. What are we talking about? She's like, why is he with all these other girls? What?
Yeah, for sure.
Wait. I've received some breaking news for a what? A new segment. This is a Limos and Roses special report. Welcome to the Limos and Roses special report. It's officially official. Claire and Dale have broken up. We're going to go straight to Jet Thomason with the latest updates. Jet, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can loud and clear, Chelsea. On the other hand, while Dale didn't post any permanent shady posts, he did post quite a few suspicious posts to his Instagram story. According to Heavy.com, Dale posted a solemn boomerang of himself looking out a window, seemingly to New York City, with the caption, "New Day." That doesn't sound too optimistic for fans of Claire Crowley and Dale Moss. And according to Screen Rant, Dale also posted a pic of a book he's reading with the quote, "God's plan is bigger than we can imagine."
This has been a Limos and Roses special report. Thank you so much, Jet. Now on to Phrase with the weather forecast. Phrase?
Yes, if you're looking over the eastern seaboard and you're looking at Instagram, you'll notice that Dale has posted it's cloudy with a chance of raining tears. Back to you, Chelsea.
Gosh. Oh, wow. With that breaking news, I thought we would bring in our special guest for this episode, Mrs. Rachel. Sure. Rachel yes, here she is. Rachel is a Broadway actor. She's a social media manager and strategist, wife, dog mom, pasta connoisseur. Seriously, you guys, if you ever need to find the best pasta dish in New York City, she's the one to ask. Rachel is incredibly passionate about animal rights and is a supporter of the Humane Society and the David Sheldrick Trust. Follow her for social media tips and tricks at Sure Thing Media. That's SCHUR Thing Media. Most importantly, however, Rachel started watching The Bachelor after her now husband then screen tested for a role on the show Unreal. It's kind of akin to the Bachelor Bible, as it were, like the King Hulu version, if you will. And it shows the behind the scenes world of shows like, The Bachelor. Rachel and her husband initially wanted to research that, and like most suckers, became super addicted to it. Her cousin's cousin, I'm pretty sure that's correct, was also an executive producer of The Bachelor for years.
Oh, yeah.
And because of that, Rachel feels a beautiful, strange connection to this franchise in so many weird ways. Thank you so much, Rachel, for being with us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yay.
We'll drink to that.
Yeah, we'll do a sensible cheers.
Hey, she's here for the right reasons.
Yeah,
I'm
and we're
always
and
here
we're-
for the right reasons.
We're always just looking for an excuse to have a cocktail. So thanks for giving us yet another one.
So first off, this Claire and Dale news.
I
How
mean, are we
do you
shocked?
feel? Yeah.
Are we shocked about this?
No.
You know what's so funny is like when her season started, I knew who Claire was. Like I'd seen all her antics on like Bachelor in Paradise. Like I remember her monologue to Juan Pablo. And I was like, interesting choice. Like we're going with it. Like here we go. It's just so her to just choose like the hottest guy there and be like, that's it. I know what I want. And not have any idea who the heck this guy was. So like, are we
Yeah.
shocked? Are we
No,
shocked? No.
it's on brand, right? It's beautifully on brand.
Yeah, but they usually are able to fake it a little longer. I'm going to throw that in. Usually they can fake it for
That's
at least
true.
3 months.
You know what we've actually been watching is that horrible C-SPAN show with JoJo and Aaron Rodgers,
You
whatever.
have
fans.
not.
Cash Pad, and they just like buy
Yeah.
all these Airbnbs from people and like give them $700 a month, and they like steal all their money and then like renovate and make it look like an Instagram trap. It's good. I like that couple. They're in it for the money.
wow.
That's the right reasons. That's why they're there.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
show.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right.
Right.
So, secondly,
Mhm.
we must have a conversation right now about your connection to the show itself. Your
Yeah.
cousins created Bachelor in
No, he didn't. Did he create? No, he didn't create it. I'm sure he jumped on at some point. His name's Pete Scalatar. He was on it forever. He was like the executive producer at some point. And he like Bachelor in Paradise is his baby. He met his wife on the show because she was another producer. He actually just produced that cool Wu-Tang documentary that came out last year. So
Very cool.
he's moved on to greener pastures, but it was really fun talking to him with certain seasons. Like for some reason I just remember Juan Pablo's season for some reason and just being like, what is this? He's like, dude, he's the worst. Like it was really like it was really fun to kind of talk to him at family gatherings and stuff.
That's
There
awesome.
he even offered like a few years ago, and I was like really single and sad. He's like, if you ever want to do it, and I was like, I don't think you guys want me there. I will be terrible.
Oh,
I
I would
beg
have.
you
I
all
would
for
have.
food.
I disagree. I would have loved to see you on the show.
I think they would have made me the villain like that.
I also
well-
love that we got a producer's a little inside look at how a producer views its own show, and he came at you saying, "Well, since you're really sad and single, you'd be great for this show."
Third question. Are you like a full love-hate Victoria moments? Or do
I'm
you
just
think
a full hate Victoria.
great? Okay, at least we got that out of the way.
I actually I really think it's bad TV. You know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of an Aubrey Plaza character. Like in like Ingrid Goes
Pers-
West, or like any of those
Yeah.
like weird Aubrey Plaza, like really disturbed, like mentally disturbed people. That's what I
so
feel like I'm
over the
watching.
top, but very
Yeah.
disturbed. I totally see that. Yeah.
Truly.
This is what I also thought. I think that you're saying it's bad television. I think she's miscast, and then she's not playing her part even believably.
I believe she's actually getting tired of the character herself. I started getting the sense that
Ooh.
she's getting broken down by her own portrayal of this stupid character.
Yeah, and you never know how the producers, and this isn't not even like my experience, like with my cousin or whatever, but it's like they're going to make every single girl in that house feel like Matt is in love with that girl. Like, we think you might be that girl. We think you might win. So it like makes them all go crazy. So if someone's already unhinged and is hearing producers go like, dude, he's feeling you, it's just going to send someone like that over the top.
I will say that our producer is in my ear, and he's saying that at least she secured herself a recurring role at this point.
Hey, in 2021 and 2020, like if you can get a recurring role on anything, like kudos. So,
Yeah, go for
good
it.
for her.
Do
Yeah.
it. All right. Fourth, I want to hear a little bit more about Sure Thing Media. You're based in New York City, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
With all the
It
Broadway
really-
stuff that was happening, but in this beautifully weird COVID world, you're
know.
still able to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, I really like when I moved to New York, I worked at a restaurant for 5 days and I was a hostess, and I just got the shit kicked out of me and people hated me. So I was like, this is not for me. So then I was like, well, I guess I got to get certified in something. So I got like certified in yoga and like group fitness. And I was like, well, this sucks. And then I started to see that like, oh, you can like manage people's Instagrams and like make money. So I went and got certified in like digital marketing, but years ago, before Instagram was what it is now. Even in a show, I'd always have like a side hustle, like my pizza money client, and be like, yeah, I'll do your Instagram. Here's some graphics. And then
Amazing.
when the pandemic hit, I think so many like brick and mortar stores and everybody was like, hey, no one's coming to our store and I need to put a Shopify all my products on Shopify and I need brand exposure. I'm like, yeah, I got you, bro. And we went from one client to like 13 overnight. But it's been fun because I get to meet people from all walks of life, from like, we have like med spas to interior designers to like sustainable interior designers, fitness companies. So it's like kind of rad. And it's been
Awesome.
great to sit at home and make people's brands look cool.
That's awesome. So fifth and finally,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any advice, any notes for Matt James on his quest for love?
Oh,
Don't be
Or
on The
is there any-
Bachelor.
Yeah.
It looks
I
like you're
just
eating a
feel
tiny
like-
little ice cream cone.
I know. Isn't it the best? I love this
cute.
microphone so much. I just feel like every time somebody asks this guy if he's ever been in love and he keeps saying no, it's like, well, you are on the wrong show. You
Yeah.
need to go on another show to show off your abs. Like, I'm even happy with Bachelor in Paradise, but this dude who's just like, I don't know what love is, and anytime anyone gets close to me, I'm gonna shut down. It's like, well, this will be fun. This will be
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
boring. I do have a pick though. Are we doing that yet?
Oh, sure.
Who do you think Matt James is going to choose as the like of his life?
Yeah, right. Not even because we share the name, but I think Rachel's the winner.
Very nice.
I
think-
thought it was Bree, but I think it's Rachel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's good. Real quiet,
And
real
she's
pretty.
just demure. She's really pretty, and then she's just gonna come out and she's gonna scare the shit out of everybody in the later episodes. Mark my words.
Real quick before you do go, Rachel, I'll be obviously posting, since this is viewable and listenable.
Yeah.
Go ahead and spell Sure Thing Media for
Oh,
our
yeah.
listeners.
Sure, spelled SCHUR, and then Thing Media. Sure Thing Media.
And can you spell thing for us, please?
I'll take this one. VICTORIA.
Yeah, great.
Thing.
Exactly.
Fabulous.
Yeah. You guys
that's
can
gonna
bring
be-
me on again when Matt finds like. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Ah,
yes,
sure.
yeah. Well, I'm definitely in like with two Rachels. I like the Rachel that's on the TV show, but I love Rachel. Sure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Love you too, Phrase. Thanks
Thank
for
you
having me,
so
guys.
much. Thank you, Rachel.
All right. Thanks
All
so
right,
much.
have a good one.
So, moving on to the nighttime portion of the date. There's a lot of very interesting conversation that happens. Matt kind of comes off as a little boyish. He seems very immature about love, which we already know about him. There's a couple of conversations that happen. Bree is on the same page with Matt. Rachel's awesome. And we head back to the ranch. Did you guys have anything before we head back to the ranch?
I feel like Matt's like whole thing can just be summed up in that song. Jet. It's I want to know what love is. I want you to show me, because he's never been
Yep.
in love, so he doesn't even
Yep.
know what he says. It's funny to say that you're looking for something that you've never come in contact with. It's
Well, we've
like-
got that drop too. I've been looking for love in all the wrong places. Yeah, and he's continuing to do so. I would say too, also, and I'm going to say this quite a bit here, probably over the course of the season, but he and Moana, he and Bree, I'm not sensing much chemistry there. I'm not sensing a lot of chemistry with any of the girls and him.
All right. So, meanwhile, back at the ranch, literally, because there's goats and donkeys there. I'm so
Mhm.
excited. There's a date card for Serena P. And Sarah begins staring into a fire, contemplating her life choices, and she is emotionally exhausted. She is triggered by her past. And oh no, she's interrupting Katie's one-on-one time with a "can I steal you for a second?" which she literally says. Victoria starts talking about her being disrespectful, but all of the girls are fully and royally, no pun intended, she's a queen, pissed. I wrote down #save Sarah. Here's my deal. We know she's going through a lot of emotional trauma. The solution is not to go on a reality TV dating show. You guys have any words on this?
I wonder how many contestants actually know what's going on in her life. Not to say that any other contestant doesn't have something going on in their life as well. It's just an unfortunate situation that I thought maybe she was going to be equipped to handle better, but it proved too much for her.
I was getting a lot of manipulation tactics from Sarah. So again, we're going to disregard everything we know that happens. I was getting tactics of, she dropped like a massively passive aggressive statement. She said, can you just give us 5 minutes and I'll bring him back to you? I wrote down a lot of her specific quotes that are really showing it's a manipulation thing. She's taking the reins. She's taking control. She's playing the alpha role and hiding it under that gorgeous face and demeanor. But there's still this like weird cattiness to it.
I don't know if it's a calculated thing in the long run. Perhaps I'm naive, but it definitely makes her, in a sense, it puts the focus on her. You're right about that. And it makes Matt have to be a nice guy. Guys are often attracted initially to a project.
Yeah, he wants to fix her. He wants to be there for her. Mm-hmm. And in a way, it's because he feels like if he's not there, that he's abandoning her. I just, at the end of the day, the easiest, simplest way to put it is I just think it's possible she's just not that into him. And that's okay. I could be wrong. There's other factors that we're going to get into here in very shortly, probably. But yeah,
I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I don't think she's as into him either. And that was just like kind of the icing on her cake of emotional distress.
Yeah, for sure.
So the date is over and Rachel gets the rose. And half of these girls didn't even get time with him. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, Katie divulges to the group that Sarah doesn't know if she wants to be there and that she's having a hard time with just being around. Everyone is pissed. He specifically shows up in the morning. All of these feelings are reiterated, and Matt decides, I'm going to go grab Sarah, bring her to the group. She's not around. He wanted to address it with her in the room, but she wasn't there. So what does he have to do? He has to leave. He has to go find her. And of course, spends time with her. And everyone else is gathered on the couch because, a producer said, Sarah, you don't have to come.
With that being said, it's like, do you want to sit on a couch with 20 girls or lay in bed with her?
I've got my answer.
20 girls.
Yes, that is the answer.
Right.
Now the other's not a bad. That's not a bad consolation prize, but let's be real.
Yeah. Right. So at this point, when he gets up to leave and go and spend more time with her, and then comes back, he returns with full-blown dagger eyes from all the women. Yeah. They are very unhappy about this. And all I can think is poor Serena P, my girl who has a date. She didn't even get a rose in the ceremony, but she has a date. So let's continue with the date breakdown. Breakdown. Let love lead the way. This is the one-on-one date with Serena P. Okay, so there's horseback riding. Hey-oh, she gets the tiny one, obviously, because she's tiny. And my girl Serena P gets the goats. She gets the goats, guys. She gets the goats. Yes. There's a little bit of charcuterie board talk. I love all the meats and cheeses. She comes off as super intelligent. All of this daytime talk is followed by him telling her that he already is having real feelings for her. That is followed by donkey time. You know what I'm saying?
Ass play, yeah.
Is this when we put in Donkey Spanker by Aaron Lavigny?
Yeah, probably so, yeah.
I feel like that's what needs to happen.
There it is.
I also just love that she said, I'm gonna smell like a donkey when I'm done with this. And I was like, girl, you missed that pun opportunity.
Yeah.
Anybody have words about the daytime portion of this day?
I said, this is a great date. It's the horseback riding. This is a traditional bachelor date, charcuterie boards and turtles. And we get a little bit about his unsupportive father, and there's a connection there. And I did like I will say that the linear life is an interesting perspective.
Mhm.
And then, I have a bunch of ass play jokes.
Dude, it was a gorgeous setting. The Thomas Kincaid painting, it's like a pastoral. It's just gorgeous, obviously. Right when the date started, I paused it to ask Chelsea. I was like, did he just say, I love Lethal Weapon? And Chelsea said, he said, let love lead the way.
Oh.
So I wasn't even close. But for a second, he was about to go up a lot of points in my book, dude. I was a big fan at that moment. Like, I'd bring a girl on the most romantic date ever and just turn her and go, I love Lethal Weapon. And it would be completely acceptable in my book anyway. But I'm not writing romance novels like Chris Harrison, so what do I know about books? I'm still sensing distance in the eyes from both parties. Maybe he just has those kind of droopy, sad, distant eyes in general, but I'm not seeing real listening or engagement. But I do see her as top 6. But I haven't sensed the one yet for him. I just havenend sensed it because he hasn't had a date yet with
because he hasn't
Rachel.
had a date with Rachel. Yeah,
right, exactly. Or Katie for that matter. But at the end of the day, he's gonna have a keepsake. He's got a Polaroid of Serena and that nice ass. So he's got that on his fridge for the rest of his life if he wants.
Yep.
Oh wait, no, she did. She finished off the day by saying, "I loved the honesty and the openness, Serena P." When she said, "I'm falling in like with him."
Yeah, that was cute.
Okay, so moving into the nighttime portion of the date. Serena and Matt have some really great relationship talks. She's really good. She keeps things light with great conversation. She admits to falling in like with him to his face and says the quote, and now I definitely could see myself moving forward, potentially falling in love with you.
This is one of my favorite quotes she had. She said, it's possible, and she's insisting that she's being honest. This could be the first date with my future husband. She should be an attorney.
She can go back and look at that tape, and no matter what happens, say, I didn't lie.
I like the honesty. You just rarely see it, so it's hard for me to process and what
you
it means to her.
You have to say something. I think you have to, they coax you to say something that's like, well, how was your first date? And then, other than saying, what's she gonna say? He was a nice guy. It was fun.
Yeah, she's got to be like they're like, oh no, it wasn't. Make it magical. Was it magical?
Yeah, we seem to have a connection. I like cheese, and he liked cheese, and he likes turtles, and I, what?
Don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Serena gets the rose. Cha-ching for moi. And he has a turtle swimsuit on. So he wasn't joking about the turtles. Homeboy's obsessed with turtles, like I'm obsessed with farm animals like goats and donkeys.
No, that's also a Paulie assist. I think Paulie went out to the nearest dollar store and got Dollar General and got him some turtle shorts, dude. No doubt.
With the Paulie assist.
Wait a minute. Paulie went out to the Dollar General.
He looks like a DG kind of guy, dude. He looks like a DG.
He does. Yeah,
not to be confused with DNG, because he's certainly not Dolce & Gabbana.
All right. So there's a hot tub makeout session. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, the date card appears. And Sarah reappears. The girls get all riled up, and they, unprompted, that we see, give it to her.
She threw out more of those buzzwords I was talking about before. What's this quote? She said to Victoria, I do want to be here for Matt. Well, she's supposed to be there for herself too. Everything is not about her. And this is one of those times when you're supposed to be a little selfish. It's supposed to be about you too. You're 50% of the equation. And then earlier she said, the relationship is really real. And I mean a lot to him. Who says that? I mean a lot to him. Well, what does he mean to you?
That could be argued that it's because she's a selfless person.
Sure.
And she's put a lot of her energy into others. And so it's not about her. She didn't use the card. A way to just shut all those girls up in a moment is to just say, my dad's dying. But she didn't do that.
Sure.
So
yeah, she didn't go cheap for sure.
She didn't go cheap. She knows that she's made a bunch of mistakes. She's apologized, and nobody wants to accept her apology, and they just keep coming for her. But, they could only go by what they were seeing and what they were witnessing. And
Correct.
from their perspective, she was acting awful. You know, she didn't handle it well, or I don't know how you handle it well. They didn't handle it well. It was just a bunch of garbage, the way that it all went down. What I think essentially happened was that producers scooped up a very sad girl that didn't know that she was sad. And I think that she got there. She didn't really like Matt. She had an okay date. And then she made a series of mistakes and had a bad image portrayed. And she was also just very much caught up with the fact that like she really missed her family. And so, you know, others would say it's a very convenient excuse to leave the show. But in my opinion, I just think that she shouldn't have been on the show to begin with. And I think it took her being on the show to realize that.
So Katie comes to join her and open up. And in that moment, Sarah decides that she's going to leave due to all of the tension in the house, and half due to her really just wanting to leave because she's not mentally there right now. And this Katie moment that they have together is very sweet. It's very beautiful. Katie also lost her father. So I really, as bittersweet as that sounds, I really enjoyed this moment. I thought it was very beautiful, very real. Yeah. Do you guys have words on this Katie and Sarah conversation?
My hope for Sarah is that, and I think she is doing this, that it raises awareness for ALS, because it's a really just terrible, terrible, terrible disease. It hits close to home. I've mentioned this before, and I think my hope is that it raises some awareness, and I think it also is a good lesson in empathy. Just moving forward, we've always say like you don't know what's going on with somebody. It's like it's even with things like just assume that somebody's going through something, I guess is a good way to like live your life. Just, and that oftentimes when you're treated poorly or something is not handled correctly, perhaps it has nothing to do with you, in fact, and it has everything to do with the other person.
What I really appreciated in all this, obviously, with as you guys just talked about with all the Katie stuff, and her own, she has issues similar with regard to losing her father. She literally invited the competition in, and I liked that. Like, let the devil in. She was like, please don't leave. I think he likes you, and I need to know that he's all in with me in case he likes me, because you're going to be in the back of my mind all this time, and I'm going to be wondering, well, he has unfinished business with this girl.
Yep. Everybody always says that. You're somebody's second choice, no matter what, because they've had choices before. It doesn't mean you're not the right choice. It just means that they've sampled all the flavors and you're the best tasting. But I will say that I did think it was a cool and bold move for her to say, hey, you should stick around. But the verbiage of like, I don't want to play second fiddle, or I don't want to be second, is like, okay, well, that's your ego talking right now.
But that's someone there for the right reasons. Seriously, who says that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to stick around to this contest, and you're my biggest competition in my head. So stick around. Let's see who wins this thing. Let's duke it out. I definitely respected that.
One more thing. It's just interesting to me, at least, like I said before, from the editing standpoint, no girl defended Sarah whatsoever before the knowledge of her father.
She looks like a drama queen.
They're seeing it that she's literally affecting their Instagram income. That's how they're seeing it. And they're not wrong. They're like, dude, this is like, I'm trying to go on here as a calculated move to further my finances in this world.
Yeah, I mean,
exposure.
Let's not get it twisted. None of them were like, I have to be with Matt.
Exactly. Exactly. They're losing exposure, and that's what's upsetting them. So.
Oh, you're so right. So, there is a beautiful fall foliage drone shot. Katie I thought very gracefully explained Sarah's situation to the girls. Sarah shows up at Matt's suite. She ends up saying, I just don't think I'm ready for this. I just wish you could see my heart.
Finally, she gets to talk face-to-face with him again, once and for all, to end this debacle. He's doing the usual. He's doing the Colton. He's doing the Peter. He's convincing himself that she's so in love with him that it's driving her away and it's scaring her. And he's like, I know this is tough because finding love is tough. And meanwhile, no, dude, she's tried to break up with you 17 different ways. So what do you do? You wait for her to get to the boom, the mic drop, when she finally has to go all in on faith. Because guess what? You can't fight faith. Right? She literally goes, she's going, yeah. And he's like, no, yeah, you do want to be here. You do want to be here. She's like, I don't think I can. He goes, it's okay. I got you. And she just goes, I prayed about it. And I was told I have to leave. And he was like, oh, damn. Finally, she gets to leave.
I think he was convincing her to stay because he likes her. What she said to him is, I can't be here because I need to be with my family. The girls have ganged up on me. And yes, as you mentioned, and I've prayed about it. So like, that's 3 things. So yes, he can't, there's no fighting that. But I don't think that he's viewing it as a breakup. I think he's viewing it as, I am like, the time is not right.
I was going down my rant.
Because you're not wrong. It is essentially a breakup,
Yeah, he wants her to stay and she doesn't want to stay. So
yeah.
You call that what you want.
Yeah.
You can paint it with your glorious brush, Mr. Bob Ross over there. I'm going to be freaking Jackson Pollock, just slamming paint against the wall.
I'm not disagreeing with you. It is a breakup. But I actually think you're giving him a lot of credit. I think he's just like, fair. Yeah,
that's true. I can see that. But alas, she's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. Yeah.
Well, she's in the limo on the way home and keeps telling herself the tale of him seeing her heart. Like, I know he's seeing my heart. I know. And that's why he was able to let her go. And then she just continues to talk to herself. And y'all, that was quite heavy. It was a lot of information. And so I feel like we as a collective unit should all escape to the warm and safe, yet electrifying space that is phrases, fashion,
too sexy for my love.
I've never been more excited to get into the corner. We've dealt with some heavy stuff this episode, but you know what's not heavy? Fashion, because it's light and it's airy and it's beautiful, and angels have descended upon us.
I was going to say Serena P. She's pretty.
There was a time in history when fashion was heavy, like chainmail.
You know what? You're not wrong, but we're not here to talk about chainmail. We're here to talk about rompers and turtlenecks.
Yes.
And ass play. Okay. So, anyways, Chris is dressed down. I always like when Chris Harrison starts off an episode dressed down with his little flannel on. Okay. So, listen, we can talk all we want about whether we like Sarah or not, but what we cannot disagree on is her fashion choices. This red top, white sweats. Oh my gosh, the activewear on her when she announced the first date, I was just like, just take her out on the date, because like, just take her to a fan. She's so hot, guys. She's so hot.
She really is. She's stunning. Yeah.
Freaking gorgeous and dealing with some shit. Anyways, but a white turtleneck on Matt, that's dealing with some bad fashion. I'll tell you that much. I like Rachel's, there was a cutaway where she had this like Burberry blazer on, or at least it was in the style of Burberry, and I loved it. I love Ashley I mean, just in general, and I also liked her belled aqua pants and the dangly earrings that matched. I thought she looked great. She's always fun. She's one of those people that like likes to be, like, she embraced the embarrassment and really has like turned that into the Ashley I brand, and I applaud her for it. Rachel, it's like Rachel and then Sarah, and then Rachel and then Sarah for me. Rachel is adorable with her high-waisted jeans that have rips in the knees and the hoop earrings. She's reminiscent of Hannah Ann for me, actually, a little bit, with her styling and with her look. Victoria, no. I said, oh, this top would be adorable if it was on somebody else. I love the colorful fun top on Kayla. Did I pronounce that correctly? Colorful fun top. And then a great lavender color on Kit. She's a fashionista. I love Sarah's top. Sorry, it was Sarah's episode, so she was wearing a lot of fashion, I guess. Another turtleneck, puke. Oh, cute outfit on Serena P. Look at you. I love this. It's the horseback riding. It's like she's got the boots on. She's looking great for these. That's a horse of a different color. I love the heels and the cute little black dress on her in the night portion, of course. And you know what? Finally, in the night portion, I was like, Matt, thank you for not wearing a turtleneck. And then I was like, oh, I get the turtleneck. I get the turtlenecks because you love turtles. And then it was the turtle swimsuit. And then I was back on board with Matt. I forgive you. And then, Mari. Mari's hair was so voluminous. I'm sorry. Voluminous. Thank you for that word.
Yeah, and it's Matt who needs a thesaurus, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely Matt who needs a thesaurus. I'm gonna stick to the big book of fashion, but and also Chris Harrison's erotic novel. Excuse me, I need to exit the corner and go read this book. You'll have to
have fun reading A Perfect Letter. Well, now that I feel more comfortable, do you guys feel more comfortable? Oh wait, Frace is trying to get more comfortable. Oh,
sorry, I had to put on some loungewear. It was getting dark.
some mood lighting. So now that we're all more comfortable, I feel like I'm at home, and I feel like that's the perfect feeling that we should all have for our hometown hopeful. Show me that smile. Show me that smile.
Just like nailed, dude. It's so. I'm so excited about that song that I just almost knocked a hole in the world, dude. Boom! Right there. Yeah.
Take that, world. Give me your top 4. Phrase first.
Rachel, number 1, obviously. That's my front runner. I'm also going to say Abigail, Chelsea, and Sarah.
Sarah, you think she's coming back? That's what you're saying.
I think she's coming back, and I think that we're going to have an episode where we meet her father. I'm thinking simply of television, you know?
Sure. But I'm just going to stand by the fact that I think that maybe she wasn't into him enough, maybe.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Rachel, front runner as well, obviously. And then I'm going to go with Katie. And then I'm going to go with Kayla. I'm still liking Kayla. I'm going to stick with it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going with Mari.
Whoa.
Yeah, Jed and I had the same reaction this episode. We were like, she's really hot.
No, I think who doesn't want to go home and meet the rest of the Kardashians? He's like,
you guys.
I want to see where you came from.
Yeah, no doubt.
Here's the deal. I don't really do hometown hopefuls, but I will say this. If Rachel wins this whole thing, I think Katie's going to be the next Bachelorette.
Oh, that is a great assessment.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Katie's hometowns. She might be, but a hot top 6. And when you're hot top 6, fair game for Bachelorette.
She needs to get a one-on-one soon to show him how cool she is.
You guys, it looks like next week we get 5 new girls, and one of them could be an escort. I'm going to close this off with my favorite Chris Harrison quote that is not from A Perfect Letter by Chris Harrison. I wish them the very best, whatever that may look like. This has been
Jet
and Frace
and Chelsea, leaving you with these parting hashtags. Hashtag Limos and Roses. Hashtag fashion. Hashtag brace first. Hashtag perfect letter. Hashtag 10 toes. Hashtag boobs. Hashtag Chris Harrison. Hashtag Chris Harrison dates. Hashtag not La Quinta. Hashtag Nemacolin. Hashtag Sure Thing Media. Hashtag Fashion Corner. Hashtag Zoomcast. Hashtag Producer Rose. Hashtag Barely In. Hashtag Showering Matt. Hashtag Turtlenecks. Hashtag Garbage. We are all here for the right reasons. Bye.
Everybody!